Maqasidic Tafsir.
Where should I begin when I'm starting at the end? Pursuing the higher aim, learning the meaning of every page. Where should I begin when I'm starting at the end?
Another addition to your Islamic education, Maqasidic Tafsir, Healing and Governance, The Transformative Path of Saba As-Tiwal, written by Dr. Karim Abuzaid. Join Ustada Laila Nasheeba every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:30 p.m., streaming all major platforms, channel SunnahFollowers.
That is his picture there. I'm very keen on showing, big on showing the pictures, because it's important that you know, especially in this day and era, who you are taking your knowledge of Islam from, because there's a lot of pretenders out there. These are the days of the Ruwaybida, as you guys know. So you need to know who you are getting your knowledge of Islam from. This is Dr. Karim Abuzaid. Everyone should know who he is. Okay, he's the author of all the books that I am teaching from. He is the author of all of them, and this book can be purchased on Amazon, you know, for $19.99. This is volume 3. This is how the book looks. Please purchase the book. Okay, and we'll be continuing with chapter 2.5. Go to the part of the book that talks of chapter 2.5, pillars 5. We'll be starting at pillar 5. We're going to cover pillar 5 and 6, which speaks about implementation of Sharia, and pillar 6 covers the welfare and public good. Okay, because those are the 2 pillars that we're going to be discussing tonight. Okay, y'all got it? Yeah, you got it? Okay, all right. So here we go. Yes. Yes, go ahead, share it. You can share it to the people in your group. Okay. So when it comes to the 5th pillar, the 5th pillar of Islamic governance is implementing. We have to implement Sharia. Sharia refers to the laws of Allah. We have to implement Allah's laws, because this is the cornerstone of Islamic governance, and it serves as the legal framework that governs the public and private lives of the Muslims within the Islamic State. And this pillar is foundational to ensuring that the laws and policies of the state reflects Allah's commandments, because again, this is what differs our laws from secular laws. Our laws are inspired by Allah, whereas secular laws are inspired by man. So our laws are just and good, whereas man's laws may be biased and may not be just, because they're inspired by man. That's a big difference. Okay, so the laws of an Islamic state are based on the Quran, which is the book of Allah, the words of Allah, and the Sunnah, which is the example and the words of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Sharia encompasses many areas, including jurisprudence, civil rights, economic transactions, personal behavior. And they also guide the community towards justice, equality, and moral integrity. Man's laws don't do all of that. Okay? So, the role of Sharia extends beyond legal prescriptions. It manifests Allah's wisdom, which is intended to create a just and a harmonious and a prosperous society. That's what makes our way of government better, because it's all based on what Allah declares, what Allah commands, not what man desires, not what man wants, not what man deems to be best. Okay? So the laws of Allah act as the ultimate authority in Islamic government. And Allah's laws ensure that all legislative, judicial, and executive actions align with Allah's teachings. The teachings of the Quran, the teachings of the Hadiths. Okay? It's not based on, what we like, what we dislike. Okay? So as you can see, there is no Islamic state really anywhere on earth right now. You have a lot of Muslim populated countries, but there is no Muslim country on this earth right now that's living Sharia, of the laws of Allah. Not really. And there won't be until long from now, after the Mahdi, after Jesus comes, really. Not really until after Jesus comes. Okay? So now we're going to look at the scope of Sharia law. The scope of Sharia guides every aspect of a Muslim's life and the collective life and of the whole Islamic, community. It addresses the rights of both the individuals, and also it addresses the rights of the communities that live within that country. Okay? So it strikes a balance between personal freedoms and also social responsibilities. Sharia covers various aspects of government, including criminal justice, economic policies, social welfare, and international relations. And you guys get to see that as Mukhtar is teaching you guys the Caliphate of Umar, radiallahu anha, and that class that we have on Sundays. You get to see how Umar, radiallahu anha, implemented the laws of Allah, as during his leadership. You see him going inside the masjid, making sure that the laws of Allah are implemented there. This past Sunday, you learned how Umar used to walk into the marketplace, and he would make sure that economically the laws of Allah were maintained, where people weren't hoarding goods and stealing and cheating the people. Okay? We don't have that happening today. All right. Also, the implementation and interpretation of Sharia in an Islamic state are entrusted to a robust and independent judiciary system, alongside scholarly bodies that possess deep understanding of Islamic law. And these institutions include judges. They include judges. And we saw this when you had the class Sunday with Umar, radiallahu anha. Umar had a cabinet of other companions that helped him to try to maintain the laws of Allah within the state. The judges are responsible for handling all disputes. They're also responsible for interpreting the laws of Allah and ensuring that justice is served based on the principles of the Quran. They play a crucial role in maintaining social order and upholding the rights of individuals. Remember, we talked about how Umar, radiallahu anha, included Ibn Abbas. And some of the companions were like, why are you including this young boy as part and making him a Qadi? He's a young kid. He said he's the one who the Prophet made dua for, giving him a deep understanding of the Quran. Okay? He understands this Quran better than any of us. Okay? He also included Abu Huraira. He said he's young, but the Prophet made dua that he never forgets anything that he saw the Prophet do, anything he heard the Prophet say. Okay? So remember, we talked about that. So in addition to having judges who were responsible for handling the disputes and interpreting the laws of Allah, also Sharia includes having muftis and Islamic scholars. These individuals provide guidance and issue Islamic verdicts or Islamic opinions on different matters, which help to interpret and apply Allah's laws in contemporary contexts. Their scholarly insights ensure that the application of Allah's laws remain relevant and responsive to the needs of the people and the nation. Okay? And you see that with the Caliphate of Umar, radiallahu anhu. And also when we did the Caliphate of Abu Bakr had the same thing put up. Okay? Also, in an Islamic state, Sharia includes having courts. These courts specialize in matters related to Islamic law, handling issues and contractual disputes. They ensure that legal proceedings, are carried out, accurately and correctly. They also have legislative bodies. Legislative bodies work within the framework of Sharia to formulate laws and policies. These bodies may introduce legislation to address new challenges, such as rules, that may be needed, but the rules must not contradict the principles of Allah's laws. Okay? They may make up traffic laws and safety policies and things like that. Okay? So that's the fifth pillar of Islamic governance, implementation of Sharia. And then the sixth pillar of Islamic governance is welfare and public good. The welfare and public good are pivotal pillars of Islamic governance. They demonstrate the state's responsibility to safeguard the interests and well-being of the people. Okay? You can imagine what this deals with. This is the education, the health, the welfare of the people. This concept emphasizes the balance between individual rights and communal interests. Okay? How is it relevant to governance? Well, again, we have to have a welfare system where the people can be cared for, hospitalization. The people have to be educated. Islam is all about seeking knowledge. Allah wants us to not only seek knowledge of Islam, but also it's important to have secular knowledge too. Okay? So, Islamic law strongly emphasizes protecting individual rights including 5 main objectives: the preservation of the religion, the self and body, the lineage, the intellect, and wealth. So the state has a responsibility to establish and maintain education, healthcare, and social welfare. And under the Khalifa, the state is responsible for ensuring essential services such as education, healthcare, and social welfare. These things are important for the Caliphate. Okay, they have to have an educational system, not just Islamically, but also secularly. They have to have a healthcare system where the people can get taken care of when they're sick. And it's not just based on social status. So it doesn't matter, you know, what their social background is, or how rich they are, how poor they are. They have to be able to be taken care of when they're sick. They have to have preventive care and all of that. All that's provided by the government. They also have to have social welfare. This includes financial assistance, housing, and other social services for those in need, for the poor, for the orphans, also for widows, women who have no husbands, for the elderly. In Islam, we believe in taking care of the elderly, not pushing them into a nursing home with no care. Also, that's what the zakat is for. That's what the purpose of zakat, the obligatory charity, okay, and the voluntary charity. Sorry. So this is why zakat is so important for us. It's one of the pillars for us, because that zakat, you know, goes to help for the social welfare, for the needy, for the orphans, for the widows, and people who are in need. So this is a very, very important pillar for us as Muslims. So those are the 6 of the pillars of Islamic governance for us. It's very important that these pillars be maintained. So as you can see, guys, just by reviewing these 6 pillars, a lot of you ask, oh, Sister Laila, is there an Islamic state? And we tell you there's no Islamic state really anywhere in the world. We have a lot of Muslim populated countries, but are any of them truly upholding an Islamic state? No. Most of the Muslim countries have westernized. They've become like a democracy. They've become like America. They've become like the UK. Many of them have abandoned the concept of an Islamic state and replaced it with westernization. Now you have a lot of them that have become more Zionist in their approach to life. And this is why Allah has sent this war upon us all. So I'm going to